Burrows, giving her speech titled, I've Got to Be Me. I've got to be me, Marianne Burrows.
I've got to be me. I've got to be who? I've got to be me. How can I know who me is? Living in a world of rules, the rights and wrongs, goods and bads. How can I know? My older brothers oftentimes broke the rules, pushed the envelopes. And back then, I mean way back then, there were consequences to be paid. And it often looked like a good whooping to a responsible parent. I knew right away after seeing that a couple times that I was going to be a rules kind of girl. My mom was a helicopter mom. Woo, 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 woo. She coddled, doted, protected and shielded me with all her might. But she couldn't protect me from life. I remember walking into my kindergarten class for the very first time, and there she stood, Mrs. Dable. I recognized her right away by her gray hair pulled back in a bun and the scowl on her face. My brothers had talked about her so often at the dinner table and told me how mean and cruel she was. I took one look at her. I burst out into tears and I hid behind my mother's skirt. But it wasn't long before Mrs. Dable saw me, came over, grabbed me by the hand, dragged me into the classroom, and told my mother she had to leave. But, Mom, it was terrifying, horrifying, petrifying. I don't think I took another deep breath until I was in high school. And school was a bit of a challenge. You see, most kids learn in a very logical, linear manner, but for some reason my mind was wired a little differently. It was more sensitive, creative, artistic, which now I know are gifts, but back then, it felt more like a curse. And all I really wanted to do was fit in with everyone else. One Sunday afternoon, my father was taking the kids for a ride, which he often did on Sundays, to give Mom a break. Because after all, being a helicopter mom, woo, 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 that's hard work. Now, the cars back then, and I do mean way back then, were different. They didn't have seat belts, and they didn't have locks on the door. This particular Sunday, for some reason, I had this spark of knowing that I should sit in the front seat. Now, I think my father was so shocked to see my insistence that he finally let me come to the front seat, though the rules were kids sat in the back seat. Oh, it was grand. I could see the whole world from a different point of view. It was awesome. Until we went around that corner. And the door flew open, and I started to fall out of the car. Dad! Fortunately, my dad saw me, grabbed me by the leg, pulled me back into the car into safety. I didn't ask to sit in the front seat again for a very long time. And that little spark of me went back down behind the rules. And we made a pact never to tell Mom what happened. When I was in my mid-20s, I happened to catch a show on TV where a man was talking about being a vegetarian. I listened intently to his words, and then began to read and study information about diet, nutrition, and the value of being a vegetarian. And I knew almost immediately by that spark of knowing deep within me that that was a path that I was to follow. And I knew that was going to be a challenge for me to stand firm in my convictions in a world of steak and burgers. But I knew this was my path. And I've begun to trust that knowing from within. even though oftentimes it brings with it many challenges and blocks to overcome. But it always takes me to a higher vantage point. And even in Toastmasters, I'd known about Toastmasters for years. And then one day, I had that spark of knowing that this was a path that I was to follow. And I certainly knew it was going to come with challenges. Overcoming knocked knees, sweaty palms, and the terror of doing table topics. I had no idea where it was going to take me. Maybe even singing in a speech contest. Really? But today as I look over my life, I now know that every single sorrow, pain, challenge, joy, and triumph were actually just the threads that made up the tapestry of who I am. And today, though I'm still in training, I know I've got to be me. But wait a minute, what about you? You've got to be you. I encourage each one of you to listen carefully to that quiet voice coming forth within you and follow your path. And I encourage you to embrace that wonderful, beautiful, unique you that only you can be. Join me in singing, I've got to be me. Madam Congress.